That was a long timer.
Pleasant intro.
I just realized how long a minute actually is.
You're waiting for it. It's true. It's true. Happy holidays!
Happy holidays.
Everyone. Welcome to another CLCI Live today. We are going to start, I'm going to start by saying Merry Coaching to you all. And
Merry coaching.
we will be kind of just walking through some of the things that we all generally are going to be experiencing around this time of the holidays. So we're going to navigate some of the practices that we feel like might be beneficial for you to utilize, maybe not, but we're going to say them anyways. So we'll go ahead and start talking about, I think a really good footnote to go ahead and start on is gifting your clients, because that one is something that can be a little bit gray sometimes when there's an answer for that. How do you guys feel about gifting your clients, especially as a coach?
Well, you mean giving presents to them?
Yes, giving presents to your clients.
I mean, there's different schools of thought on it. There's a lot of folks say that it's a great practice. It shows that they're appreciated. Other folks say not to do it because it means you'll get lost in the shuffle. I myself am a gift giver, so I would be somebody who gives gifts. Yes.
I would say there's a few different ways of going about actually giving gifts. It doesn't have to be anything physical. I think maybe a moment of appreciation is a gift that would be something that's reciprocated well between a coach and client interaction. I know when things start, when it becomes in the form of maybe, Lisa, if you want to step away for a sec, you can go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Love you. We'll miss you.
I'll hang here for a little bit. I just got a little migraine going on, guys. So there's the light shining in my eyes.
If you need to go rest, go rest. Marlon Marshall says happy holidays.
Yes. Happy holidays, Marlon. So to continue on it, why do we feel like that's a bad thing to maybe give gifts potentially?
I can come up with a few. It sets an expectation. Mm-hmm. It can also convey a message, maybe one you don't intend to convey. It also can hurt the pocket, right? You may not have enough money to do that. Also, what do you give people? That takes a lot of thought and time and energy. And
maybe you simply just don't want to. You got so many other people that you're giving gifts, like, if you're treating it as your profession and your job, just, wish them a happy holiday, send them a card.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
I love the idea of just a card. It's simple. You can write it out to multiple people. It's the same thing. So you're not getting one expensive gift for your favorite client and something else for those that you have different feelings for. A card is very simple. And I think if my dentist can send me happy holidays, happy birthday, and you're a business and you want to have that customer experience.
Cards, though? Like when you get them, what do you do?
I open them and I smile.
Yeah,
they sent me a message and they thought about me.
Do you if you're a coach, is it a picture of you on the cover?
I have a line. I have a fishing line.
Go for it.
I put all my Christmas cards.
You have a fishing line with all your cards on it. Perfect. That's amazing. I've wanted to save them. I will at least use them as decor or something, or put them around. What kind of card? What goes in the card? What's on the card? Do you do custom? I could get lost in cards for a long time.
I was trying to think if I ever gave. I mean, I gave holiday cards, but I don't think I ever gave any gifts. The idea of sometimes they would give me a little gift, like a gift card to a restaurant or something like that, or a little token, but I don't think I think it was just cards that I gave out.
They do say that giving a gift, it does it's good for customer loyalty or client loyalty. It shows that you're thinking about them and that you're willing to take the time and energy to do that. Mm-hmm. Especially being that they are the ones who pay you. That school of thought is it's you taking time and money out of your budget to pay back, essentially, in appreciation. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a necessity, though. There was an article, I believe it was in Inc. I don't know. And they were saying this is the reason I don't give them. And I don't give them because get lost in the shuffle, and I can think of other reasons or other times that I would rather give something to my clients. It doesn't have to just be around the holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was chocolate. I think I did give chocolate. Like
Chocolate's always a good thing.
chocolate is an amazing thing.
I love a C's box.
Like I always had little candies, but on the holidays I had little special candies. One of my clients, as I'm thinking about it, one of my clients look forward to it because they would come back year to year.
You have candies in
question.
client loyalty. What?
Mm-hmm.
I said, here's a question, which maybe our prospective students don't know or not, because a lot of professions don't allow you to accept gifts from clients.
Mm-hmm.
And the question might be, well, as a coach who's coaching under the ICF model, are we ethically allowed to accept gifts?
No.
And I didn't see anything that barred us from doing that. So
there's nothing that bars us from it. I don't.
It speaks about somewhere in there. I don't remember where, but it spoke about bartering, like to get concert tickets. It said that's not a practice that we coaches do. So you don't coach someone for them to give you concert tickets and those kinds of things. Inexpensive.
I mean, that's okay. So that's saying no bartering, and that doesn't express that explicitly in there, really.
Yeah, maybe it's since changed. I haven't looked it up. I know that that's one of the things that we used to really discuss quite a bit as part of the ethics. But since everything's changed, I haven't noticed it either.
I'm not seeing anything come up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll do further research on that one.
Can you give the gift of coaching?
Yes, I would say so. Especially as a new coach.
If you're a coach, let's just say you offer currently 60 minutes. Well, I'm going to offer an additional 20 minutes to our session. Or you've never been a part of my coaching, I'm going to give you a free 20, 30 minute as my gift of giving. It's the season and I want to help you.
That sort of crosses into like sort of holiday promotional offerings as well.
So yeah, there's an article I dropped in about basically it shared there you can do things like gift cards, specials, discounts, things like that, and to incentivize sort of sales during this time, which sort of goes into another topic that we were going to talk about, which is pricing. And sales, etc. in this space. I have a hard time. Sue says I have a hard time thinking of giving gifts to clients. I feel like could blur boundaries and professional distance, and I can see that absolutely. I think that's where it comes in. If it's like a more generic gift, I don't know. I've given gifts to my clients. I have like little things, but it's not exactly as a coach. It was more as a consultant in that space. But I've given, affirmation cards, and I've given all kinds of little things. I've also given. We used to give business cards with and do. You got a business card with everything else, but that's under a different space than in the coaching space. So
I would maybe suggest limit the amount of money you spend on giving gifts to clients, and that's up to you, but come up with a budget so that you don't give $100 gift to one client and then like a $5 gift to a client you kind of don't like. Maybe
you're worried about the comparison that they're going to talk about.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe split the difference, make it like a $30 limit for every client, and save yourself a headache.
I think as a rule of thumb, don't break the bank. This is not about buying the biggest, most extravagant. I know there's been periods of time in which like that was a thing. It was a thing to spend the most money. It showed, you're doing great or what have you. But I think that those days are less in place, and it's more about the thought. So give a thoughtful gift to your client. I think a thoughtful gift will do far better than any other kind of gift. I think even if it was something that maybe you created that was like depending on what kind of coaching you're is, but maybe it's something that helps them and enriches their life. That would probably be something that they would enjoy far more than something shiny and pretty.
A handwritten note goes a long way. It touches that point right there directly. It's
handwritten is huge.
I got bad handwriting though.
But there's just something that little touch, that little extra something it's wonderful. So
People do appreciate gifts most of the time.
so moving on from that, we've got a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah, we do.
So let's talk about, since we sort of touched on it, pricing and the new year and it coming up in the new year, and the fact that a lot of people do choose to raise their prices in the new year.
Do you mean like at the beginning of the new year? That's when they decide to raise their prices?
Like
Yeah.
January 1st, yeah.
So then I guess the question is, what do you do? Are you supposed to just quietly change your prices on your website January 1st, or is it better to lead up to that price change? Which I
Well,
have
I think it's better. So, I mean, this is again my opinion. My best practices have always been to give everybody a heads up, give them the warning, let them know it's coming. And you can even furthermore build a sale around it, or build let people know the prices are going to raise. Get in now because they're going up. And that's a great way you can sort of drive sales, especially during the winter, during this time of year, December. Unless you're in the retail industry, your numbers are going to drop to some degree because people are spending their money on presents. They're not spending their money on themselves. So they'll start again January, but typically December slows down a little bit for a lot of people, unless you're in the retail industry. You guys thoughts?
I'd say yeah, it's a combined weight because you'll practically speaking you want to raise your prices and change them, but you can also combine that with the marketing aspect to get people to pile in on a slower sort of season, and then you set yourself up for the new year with a bunch of new clients and a good
That's the hope.
income. Yeah, that's the hope, but um, I can't imagine just changing my prices and not telling anybody.
I mean, you have to. Of course, you have to, because you can't just start charging people more money. I mean, because you have
Not
existing clients.
immediately like the clients, yeah, but
And
people are going to wonder too. I was going to say, like, maybe new coaches are wondering: do we grandfather our clients in, or do we raise the prices on like existing packages? And like,
that's a
I was of the opinion that you grandfather them. I never changed their. I mean, I know there's
forever and ever.
Nope, not whatever they signed in as, and they maintain that time. Like they would come in regularly, like once a month, maybe every couple of months.
that look on your face.
As long as they stayed within that timeline, I would honor what they started off as. However, new people, that's when I would adjust that price.
Yeah, I would not. I would raise it for everybody, fairly across the board myself. It would just be, everybody's paying this rate. You've got to join in the club. And it's just the way of the world. I mean, it's there's inflation, there's things. I mean, it's fairly common, and that's where you're giving them the heads up. They can also incentivize it. Like, I know you're not used to this. It's going to be more, so we can step it up over time, and that's where giving them that sort of having that conversation is a good thing too. But I definitely have raised prices on my clients before, and would again. Just the grandfathering thing. If you have somebody that's committed to you and there for a long, long time, I mean, it could end up being. It could be just that could be a great deal of time between. And now, mind you, I do think that there are different realms when grandfathering works. I think that if you have a finite package, if you have a package that is, I've paid for 12 weeks, they paid in advance. I'm not going to go back and ask them for more money. No. Now, if at the end of that 12 weeks, I'm going to charge them the new rate, though, if they want to sign up again. And that's sort of where my line would be there. It's that I'm not going to ask for more money from people that have already paid. But when that contract is up or what have you, I would then adjust to my new rates with them. If that makes any sense. Hi, Monsalit.
I don't think there's a wrong thing to do with that. I think you just have set your boundary and then you stick to your boundary. I mean, that's really the important piece of it. Who did I just interrupt? I heard somebody starting to speak.
That was really hi to Monsalit in the chat.
Hi, Monsalit.
And then, they're saying this year 4% inflation is somewhere between 2 and 4% inflation is what we.
I heard 6% inflation.
You heard higher? Wow. Okay.
Wow.
So I think that prices will be raising. I mean, they have been already.
Yeah.
So not
Give
uncommon.
yourself the gift of a raise for
in the same vein, though, like we've mentioned, you can also incentivize. You can also create sales around the holidays. Running through that, talking about that, let's move this into another piece of this content. I mean, we're creating holiday themed content as we speak. There's good and bad to that, right? What are the goods? What are the bads, guys?
It can be sometimes a bit, dangerous, just depending on, because there's so many different ways that people celebrate the holidays. For you to kind of commit to one of those can be kind of excluding some who may actually celebrate a different style or different way or different holiday. That's something I think to be mindful of around this time. So I know there's a lot of PC ways of how to say, it's the holidays. Saying happy holidays is probably the most common one you see. But I was actually, before we hopped on, saw there's a ton of different ways that you can say happy holidays to kind of ensure that you're not excluding those who may celebrate.
I want to know. Give me
Do you guys celebrate Happy Honda Days or Toyota-thon?
Well,
I'm a Toyota Thon guy for sure.
in our house, we sell Happy Honda Day because we have like 4 Hondas in the family.
I'm a Happy Honda Days as well.
I don't know. I have a Nissan.
You don't celebrate the holidays. But yeah, that's a good point. You need to be careful about don't be careful. I don't know. It's your business, but
Yes.
Be mindful that other people celebrate different holidays. I had to remind myself as I was writing the blog last week. I almost put in like Christmas time, and I was like, wait a second.
Wait a minute.
I gotta stop, think, and then edit the article so that it's more appealing to a larger audience.
I mean, there are a lot of different holidays that happen in December. A lot. We divide it typically between 2, but there's a lot more than that out there. So
we got Christmas, we got Hanukkah.
I gotta pull it up. I'll show you right now. I'll tell you. Give me 1 minute.
Never met anybody who celebrated Kwanzaa, but I'd like to. So that you could explain to me what that is.
So we have it's also International Human Rights Day is in December. Feast of Our Lady Guadalupe, St. Lucia's Day, the 24 La Posadas, Yule Winter Solstice, Christmas Day, Boxing Day. Kwanzaa's in January this year. There's Zartosh, St. Stephen's Day. There's a lot of days.
St. John,
Immaculate Conception of Mary, Bodhi Day, which is a Buddhist holiday.
I think, Kyle, you celebrate 2 holidays. Is that right?
Which 2?
I celebrate Hanukkah and Christmas.
Both? Awesome. Amazing.
Oops.
Oh, no.
double team extra presents for you.
No, I only get Christmas presents.
What?
Yeah, we kept them to the ones. The 8 gifts in Hanukkah is just to make the kids feel special because everyone's receiving Christmas presents. Typically, you don't give presents in Hanukkah, but to help match the theme of all the other kids getting gifts, they started.
That reminds me of some other holiday that did something similar.
What?
Well, I mean, the reason we have Christmas trees, it was taken from another holiday.
Well, we're also we listed Yule Winter Solstice for the pagans and Wiccans out there.
Yeah, the pagans and the Wiccans, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, the Easter bunnies and Christmas trees.
Sure.
So we all borrow things from one another now, don't we?
But the point is, a lot of different people celebrate a lot of different holidays.
Different ways, yeah.
Yes.
So so this is an interesting point. We also say develop your niche, get specialized, sort of narrow down your audience. But now we're saying open it up a little bit. So
we're saying be courteous. Maybe that's not a common link between your niche audience. Maybe they are a variety of religions or backgrounds or what have you, but they all have the same problem and all have the same need. So
we're
just
not saying
be
in our
aware.
marketing, I only coach Christmas celebrators.
Well,
I would celebrate every holiday if I could. Like I want to be a part of every holiday. Like
well, and
I'm with you.
conversely, there's those that don't celebrate any holiday,
Yeah.
yes, there are.
or especially during this December, celebrate any holiday.
Mhm.
I would even add as a coach, that could be even a niche to focus on, or those that don't have family or people to talk to and celebrate holidays. You can open up yourself to be with that person and talk to them. Maybe they want a coaching session on a holiday because they don't have family to celebrate or anyone to talk to, but they have you to listen to, your coach, and that could be a gift in itself.
That would be
Yeah.
very, very
Yeah.
generous of a coach to do that, and
Yes,
very
it would
nice.
be.
But also, on the
I have found I can
I'm gonna play
celebrate
the
holidays alone just fine.
evil devil's advocate here. It's your holidays as a coach as well. So if
Yeah.
you want to just block off the entire
And
month,
that'll bring us to our next one of our next topics is the scheduling and the concept of scheduling and like how do you set boundaries? Do you what works for you, what doesn't, and how do you let clients know that are used to seeing you every week on Wednesday at 1:00 that I'm going to take a couple weeks off.
well, this is one of the benefits of being a life coach and not, I would say, a therapist or a psychologist, where, and I'm misinterpreting their profession a little bit. Let me say that before. But their mental well-being is not.
Admit now I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm going to admit now that I am
I'm
wrong.
going to continue on.
But to a certain degree, your client's mental wellness is not dependent on you in any way as a coach. That's probably one of the first things that they should acknowledge when signing a contract with you, is that and I think our contracts say that for our coaching sessions that we're going to be having, in no way, shape, or form are we psychologists or mental wellness or health professionals, and your own emotional well-being is dependent on the client, or it's the client
You're
has to
also
handle that.
making one assumption in this, though.
Yeah.
And that assumption is that it will be an emotionally charged problem, right? That it will be, but it might be that they are used to eating with you to go over goals and planning and having that sounding board. And now that means that there's going to be in their head, the panic might be, that's a 2-week delay in my goal setting.
Mhm.
What am I going to do? I didn't ask to be set 2 weeks behind. And that's when we have to empower them to come up with their own plan.
Yeah, I think you said it great. Kind of just having that conversation prior to you going on that break with your client and asking them, is there anything in between, now and the next time that we meet that you really want to focus on? And is there a way that you want to go about it, and kind of explore that with them, so that way they don't have that void where, if they do feel like they may, be needing their coach at that moment, you had a plan set up in place that they can kind of lean on throughout the time that they won't be meeting with you.
And that's where that having that conversation the time before, letting people know, having your planning in advance is critical.
Yeah, I never had any issue with that, because I did let them know in advance. And the next available appointment is on this date. I mean, when you are scheduling, that's simply, here's this next date that's available. Keep it simple. That works as well.
Also, what if your client needs time off?
Courage.
I mean, that sucks if you're a coach that relies on that client to come in every week and pay his bill.
And that's kind of what our job is to get them empowered in such a way that they no longer need us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, but I'm saying for the client, for the coaches that's got session to session paying clients, but that they haven't gotten the package in advance. The client pays before, and now they're like, it's the holidays, and I'm gonna be. It's like,
Well, if you're at that point, if you're paying session to session, then and you're not setting a contract, that's out of your hands as a coach. You have to.
No, I know, but how does a coach prepare for that? You just got to save? Got to make sure and save.
Yeah, you don't spend all your money. You've got a budget every month for that.
And that can be scary.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully the coach is set up to a point where they can know their schedule 1 to 2 months in advance so that they can prepare for sort of leaner seasons.
I mean, I'll say, as somebody who is a consultant and has been a consultant and for a lot of time, long period of my life, lived paycheck to paycheck, where it was not even paycheck to paycheck. It was literally like client to client. And there's a definite feast or famine thing that happens once, when you're a contractor, until you get sort of a system that works and you're not in that space. But starting out, you've got a feast or famine where it's either a lot of money coming in and then no money coming in, and it's like this roller coaster unless you start to sort of situate things. And that's where packaging comes in and becomes important, where things that where you have this more consistent income that you can create with your clients. Why it becomes so critical, because that I don't know if I'm going to have, how many clients I'm going to have this month versus next month, when it's all the income you have and you don't have any other income stream, can be stressful. So that's the importance of building out programs, the importance of building out packages. Yeah. It's not only to give the clients a discount, but also to ensure that you have enough money coming through the door on a regular basis.
Maybe a suggestion as well, if a coach is, I would suggest maybe a bit more established, but still having those like feast or famine moments. Maybe perhaps pay yourself a salary every month, so that way it's lower than what you would probably expect.
If you can.
Yeah, that's what I said. If you're already established as a coach, this might be beneficial to you. Probably not starting out, but if you pay yourself a salary every month, then you can sort of account for the leaner times.
That's if you have enough money coming in the door. I mean,
if you don't, just forget about this.
A large group of people that starting out don't have that reliable income coming through. That's why, with S Corp, and when you're filing, you can't file for an S Corp until you can pay yourself a reasonable wage, and a reasonable wage is what the industry standard is. And it takes a while for people to get there. They don't always get there quickly in their businesses. So, but yeah, that's scary. Plan for it. Try to.
I think might be a good segue to move on to another one of our topics we have here. Managing stress, because Christmas is all sunshine and flowers, right? It's just
so what causes stress during Christmas?
Honda days, Jerome. Honda days, not Christmas.
Honda days.
What causes stress both for coaches and for clients?
Just the amount of
spoke about money too is a big one.
Money
is a huge stressor.
Family.
There you go.
Time. Presents. Shopping.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
If you're watching this at home, what things stress you out for holidays?
The cold.
Yes. The presents are a big one, because that's a combination of like family and money and time, all of that goes into
I hate presents so much. I like them. I like giving them. I like receiving them. I do not like having to buy them, though, and trying to figure out what people want. It drives me nuts.
So how can somebody help people with that? So we're using this app called Elfster, and I kind of love it because you can go on there and see what people want. It's like all these wish lists. Everybody has a wish list, and I love it because if I want to get people a present, I know what they want, what they're looking for, and it makes life really easy.
Also, you can upload things and select things from Amazon too, which was probably the number
everywhere
one.
From Amazon, and so you just have to copy and paste in a link, and so you can it's so cool. Everybody use Elfster. But it is. I really like it. I appreciate it. I've also learned a lot about my fellow employees.
Yes, we're completely biased because we're using it for our holiday Christmas.
Yes, we are. We're using it. And it's awesome.
It is pretty cool.
It's been pretty simple seeing it on there. I mean, setting it up and buying, and it's been so simple. It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Jerome, putting you on the spot, you were like, I don't want to add things onto my
I was going to bring it up. Yeah.
Share that. Why? Why don't you want to add things on your wish list?
Asking for gifts, just because usually when I want something, I plan, to get it myself. So when it comes to asking somebody else for something, I feel like it's kind of just here, give me something. Like, I guess I like even the 2 suggestions I put up. It's like I could totally go and
you
get
only
that.
Put 2 up. You have to have at least 7.
Okay, I'll work on that tonight.
God, I need to go put some stuff up on there now.
I mean, I love receiving gifts, but really, I just, especially when it comes to like spending not loads of money, but money, out of someone's pocket, I just always feel like that's something that I could always do for myself.
And that's, there's a giving too much, gifting too much, and gifting it with strings can be a form of manipulation. Which is, it's actually a red flag. But there's a big difference between like somebody who is just, they're doing it with an intention, a very specific intention, and not just doing it because they want to give. That's a tough thing too, though, with gifts. A lot of times, just going to go deep here really quick. Is the that strings attached. I mean, how many times have we had somebody give us something and then afterwards hold it against us at some point, or use it to get something from us later?
That's horrible. Yeah,
it's terrible.
Manipulation. Yeah.
Primarily why I do not like receiving gifts, even though normally speaking, you probably have nothing to worry about. There's just that in the back of my mind that's like, just don't accept gifts from anyone ever.
Well,
for any reason.
Okay, well, I'm going to send all your gifts back. Forget about it.
Well, the thing is, that's a very myopic perspective. Yeah. People give gifts for a number of reasons, and
I know, I'm just figuring out my own personal like neuroticism at this point. So everybody out there in the chat, don't get me a gift.
I can't wait. That's not fair.
I'm so bummed you're not my Secret Santa.
Now we narrowed down Kyle's Secret Santa list. We know it's
Yeah, setting out with the intent to hold that above someone's head, gifting someone, just in general, I think you've got to go into gift giving, which I love. I love to give gifts, and you've got to go into it expecting nothing back, I would say. It's the best way to kind of go
what do you love about giving gifts? We're back to what we started, by the way, guys.
I think we kind of glossed over the stress aspect, though. Like
we completely ignored the stress.
We talked about what could stress you, but I don't know.
But I mean, Anthony gets stressed out by getting gifts, so and
giving them.
And giving them both ways. I mean, so how do we mitigate stress during the holidays? How is it that we can mitigate our stress as coaches and as and maybe is there a way to help our clients mitigate stress?
Being honest with yourself is a big one. You've got to mitigate, and understand what your means are when it comes to
probably the hardest thing for people to do.
Yes. Because it's such this huge expectation of it's the holidays, like, family, they're like, you have to give me something. I mean, you assume that. I would say I do sometimes, I assume those that I care for most in my life kind of expect a gift, which they will receive one. But that is, again, a really huge portion about, making sure you're doing that and mitigating how you're spending properly is accepting your circumstance, understand what you can and cannot do.
Having a plan.
Don't go broke for 2 weeks and eating top ramen. Not 2 weeks. Okay, 2 months.
I want to.
February.
Top ramen. I will.
I think
I can live on top
really,
ramen.
In reality, it's a gift. It's great. But how long are they going to actually? Hopefully, they appreciate it for a while. But you've got to really be honest with yourself and see. Yeah, that
you can give a gift that keeps on giving.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the time and connection. Mm-hmm.
I used to, because I used to have a lot of people to celebrate Christmas with. And I would make a spreadsheet. I had a spreadsheet so that I made sure everybody was handled. I still kind of spreadsheet a bit, but I like to make my gifts. I still do to this day. I think that there's a lot of time and energy and care and love that goes into a made gift. I think that buying a gift can be equally. It takes the time to think about who it is for, and it's the thought for me with gifting that matters more than anything. And so I'm this year, you guys are all gonna, hopefully, if it works out, be getting little pies that I'm gonna be mailing out to you guys. And I've already researched how to mail them and keep them cold. And
spoiled the surprise. We're still
what?
I said you spoiled the surprise. We're still like 18
Oh no,
days out.
it's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to tell you anyways, and it's
Okay.
gotta be there, get there quick too. So you guys got to go out and get them like the moment they come. So I've got the whole process coming, but there's a lot of time and energy and care. I've also done like watercolor paintings for everybody before, which talk about a lot of time doing that.
Well, I think
a lot of work.
you touch on a really good point. I mean, you don't have to go out and spend an insane amount of money to have a gift that someone's going to appreciate. I think also that's important too, is maybe mitigating how much you spend and balance that with maybe a little bit more thoughtfulness. Because I know it's easy to go out and buy something really quick and it's done. It takes a little bit longer, which can also be stressful to actually work on a gift. So maybe finding that balance that works for you.
Don't give people a gift that has already been used and opened by somebody else. And I just had like the worst experience.
They don't. As long as they don't know.
No, I knew. I recognized the item, and I was like, "Are you serious?" Which sounds a little spoiled, but no, it was a terrible situation.
Yeah, don't get anyone used.
That did not just happen.
No used tires for Toyotathon. That's not. No.
But so more stress. Back to stress. We talked about planning. We've talked about budgeting. We've talked about. I think a big one is also self-care. Making the time for yourself, setting boundaries, knowing when to say no. Enough is. I'm sorry. I'm not going to make it there. I don't have time. Or. I got everybody a card. That's all I could do this year. That's okay. I think the gift of just letting somebody know that you care is really is the best gift person can give. So
also, if people get mad at you for the quality of your gift that you give them, tell them to go shove that gift somewhere.
I did get mad. I got a used heater in a box. It was a heater I had bought. Different. It was a heater I had purchased, mind you. So like I was given. I was like,
that's a different. That's a different example right there. You can be justifiably mad about that.
I'm allowed to be in that case.
But it's more so because people can be hard on themselves and they feel like they failed on Christmas. They didn't give enough good gifts or whatever. So maybe a little bit of grace and forgiveness for yourself and being okay with, what you're willing to give this holiday season.
Now, I know that the holidays, there's a lot of religious meaning, but there's personal meaning as well. So personally, what do the holidays mean to you guys? I know what they mean to me. I'm like a giant child during the holidays. I'm a big child that everything's prettier and it's got lights and it's sparkly and people are nicer and you get to dress in winter clothes and people are being thoughtful and thinking about one another and thinking about what they can do and how they can help each other. I just like, I love Christmas. But that's me.
I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or what, but I haven't been enamored yet by like the whole holiday. I usually am. I love the holidays, but just holidays in general. But I haven't been enamored by like the whole Christmas Eve themes. Yeah, it hasn't hit me just yet, but I'm sure it will. I hope it will. I haven't seen any Christmas movies, so maybe that's where I should start.
That's a problem right there. You gotta start the Christmas movies on.
Well, and there's kids. Whenever there's kids, that's when the holidays become especially important because those, like Cambria is looking forward to. In our house, we're doing Christmas, so in our house, she is counting down.
I see your wreath and your garland. For Lisa, I got Lisa the wreath and the garland behind her. I just noticed them.
A little Christmas tree here. I'm trying. I'm making an effort. It'll hit me.
My dad was terrible about like he would never for a long time he didn't have a Christmas tree or anything like that. Or if he did, he would get like the most sad, pathetic, like Charlie Brown tiny thing, and he would just like stick it on this column. We had to walk by him coming in the house to be like, "There's the tree." But he also once like wrapped the photos around the house in Christmas paper just because that was how he decorated. I was like, "Awesome, good for you, Dad." But we also it was a tradition to find a way to hardest wrap our gifts for one another. And like, so it would be like a box and a box and a box and a box, duct taped on around every corner, zip tied. Like we would do anything we could to make it almost impossible to get into the present itself. And that was fun.
Yeah, I was usually the victim of that every year growing up. That was, yeah. It just wouldn't fail. They wouldn't fail my family.
There were lots of pranks in our family.
I got to the point where I just was ready to just rip, just not even think about unwrapping, just start ripping through boxes.
Oh no, I mean, it wouldn't even be possible because my dad he has super tape, and so it would have been super tape, and super tape has fibers in it that make it not able to tear. Like,
I'm giving up. I don't want it then. And usually at the end, it's just like something like a candy cane or something.
That's what I discovered this thing, and it's so exciting. It's called what's it called? It's like camo gifting, or it's not, but that's not the name for it. It's like disguise gifting, where it looks like one thing, but it's not at all what it is. So they like wrap it shaped like a toilet seat, but it's not a toilet seat, it's something else. But I'm like, I love this practice. I want to incorporate it in my life. I'll look at the name.
What were we talking about? What the holidays mean to?
Yeah, the holidays mean to you guys.
What does the holidays mean to you, Lise? Oh wait, you said kids, right?
He said, yeah.
Yeah. Angelique, when she was younger, that's my younger daughter who's older. I used to work so much. I mean, I just did not have time to put tree up, put decorations up. She used to get mad at me. However, since, then and now, especially now with Cambria grandbaby, we set out to be intentional, even though it's been busy, to set the house and decorations and lights. She's just so very excited to see all of that. And so that for me is the joy and journey through that experience. And then Brooke also got a few things for me as well. As you can see, I got some garland behind me, and it's beautiful. And so that's been joyous having that as well.
Kyle, your turn.
What does the holidays mean to me? I would say homemade food from my mother. That's something that I only get once a year during this time, specifically tamales. So that is what I am waiting for the most. And then just being with family and remembering why we all meet together and why we're close. Yeah. And, we don't have those times often, and days like holidays are some of the few where we can get together. And it's only getting harder and harder to get together because of everybody's lives. And so it's just a good time to appreciate when we're all there together at that moment. That's what holidays are for me.
Yeah. Family, friends, connection. Yeah.
And food.
I can attest to the mom's tamales. They're great. They're amazing.
Anthony?
I'm a bit of a Scrooge. I would say I get into, because last Christmas I had COVID, so I just quarantined myself like on Christmas Day, which was surprisingly nice. I just finally read a book, just mind my own business, opening presents at my house. Now I've noticed throughout the years, around every Christmas time, I get kind of introspective and I think about how to set myself up for the new year coming up, because I have segmented my life for like, okay, the Christmas, December time, that's the end. Let's take a look back at what I've done the past year, and then I'm not happy about it, and then I go, okay, what can I do for the new year?
Which ultimately is an arbitrary form of measurement, but
it is arbitrary, and it also, it's not very good setting myself up for failure every single December being
right. Every December I get depressed.
Every December I'm disappointed. Every January I'm motivated. And, we'll just go with that. So it's just sort of a way to think about the end of the year and sort of, take stock of what has been accomplished, I guess, and hopefully celebrating that, and then also getting the chance to celebrate that with people, and family and friends and yada yada, all that sentimental stuff. So yeah, that's my long-winded explanation of what the holidays mean.
we'll be able to do some of that live next week with our year in review.
Oh yeah, I
So you
forgot
guys
about
be sure to join us for that. But I think, Anthony, thank you for making this easy on us. We can segue perfectly into goals, the holiday, and the new year, because we know every time we set those New Year's resolutions, they absolutely work 100% of the time.
No, they don't. 92% failure rate. 92% failure rate.
So why do we think
Except mine, I get mine every year. Every year I get mine. As long as I'm alive. The moment I die, I have failed at my New Year's resolution. Because my New Year's resolution is to live another year.
So why are we terrible at, actually succeeding in these resolutions?
Because we're doing it for all the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing it because you feel like you have to, which is not a good motivation to start off with a goal because you feel like you have to. I mean, we were just talking about that last week about gifts, where the I in gifts is intention and setting that intention. But if your intention is so shaky where it's just like, my intention is because it's the new year and I have to, and everybody's making New Year's resolutions, not a good way. All right.
Bye, Kyle.
So yeah, that's one reason why New Year's resolutions don't really work for the most people.
Well, because they don't plan for the life part of it. They grand plans, and then they misstep once and they give up, and quickly it deteriorates. Amongst a wealth of other reasons. What can you do instead?
Don't ever set goals. Don't ever improve as a person.
I set a lot of goals. I set goals and I reach them. It's something that I do in my life and I enjoy doing. But my goals are not set around the new year. They're set when it's time for me to do them, when I'm ready to do them, when it's right for me. That's when I set my goals. I think it's a lot of setting ourselves up for failure with resolution. So that's me being a pessimist. So you can set an intention instead.
If it's a goal that you genuinely care about, why wait until the beginning of the year to begin with it? Start now if that's something that you genuinely, again, have intent on completing.
And it's got to be, the thing too is there's a lot more than setting a resolution. You can say I want to work out, every day of the week, but there's pieces to that puzzle that go in that we need to be aware of, that we need to plan for. Well, how are you going to do that? When are you going to do that? And honestly, that goal, what happens when you don't? What happens, and there's all these things that people don't plan for around that. And then it's a lot of times people want to go from 0 to 100 and they forget that there's all these little steps in between.
Here's a good tip for people wanting to work out for their New Year's resolution. Start going to the gym now in December.
Hire somebody to chase you.
That's all. If you go to the gym now, it's not going to be as busy. If you go in January, the gym's going to be so full.
Yeah, it's almost impossible at the beginning of the year to get a good spot in the gym. Yes,
that's my quick tip.
I think mine was way better.
I'll chase if you want to
hire someone to stalk and chase you on a regular basis.
That would be so much fun. As your job, you're like a licensed stalker.
I make people run.
You're allowed to terrorize your clients.
He's there again.
Oh my goodness, you guys are working it. You're working it.
We got like 5 minutes left, so we're playing loose now with the live. But yeah, that'd be fun.
But going back to setting an intention, that's another thing you can do. I just intend to have a good year, to stay positive this year, to be mindful, to it's a more general, less specific, but it is a way that you can approach the year with a different mindset, right? It's like starting the year with a specific mindset.
Yeah.
In mind 5 to 4 times.
Yeah, I would say it's a really good time to do that is around, this time in December, maybe a little bit deeper into December as we continue, just because we can all get lost in the shuffle of our daily routines. And with Christmas coming up, should you be able to afford that time off, take it and be able to kind of sit with yourself and develop, true intent, not be, kind of getting mixed in with some of the other things that you can usually deal with for your daily routine again.
Intention's a very important thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we're about done. Lisa's dying.
I wouldn't go that far, but yes, the migraine is still definitely present.
I can tell just because you're squinting.
It is. Oh, you can see me squinting? Oh, boy. Yeah.
So we're going to sign off and say we'll be
Yep.
here next week we're going to do just sort of the year in review. We're going to talk about the things we have talked about and done over the past year, surmise it, and then I think the following we're going to be off for a little bit. So little vacay for us. We'll be back again next week, and then the following after that we'll be back in January. So
Yes.
now we'll see you guys next week. Thank you for watching.
Thank
See you guys.
Until next time.
Sure.
Auf Wiedersehen and happy holidays.
Happy hump days.